How to tell if a guy is using you. Today I'm giving you the top 7 ways to tell if you're being used by a man. This is part 1 of a 2-part series on this topic, and don't forget as well to download the top 10 male dating personalities that lead to heartbreak from the link in the description. I'll see you in just a second. How to tell if you're being used by a guy. So this is part 1 of this 2-part series on figuring out if a guy is using you. And it's really important. It's so important to know if a guy is using you, because a guy that's using you can be even more dangerous than a player. Now, we've talked about players a bit on the channel before, and a player is a guy that typically manipulates and games his way to get sex with you. But the issue with a user is that they can use you for a lot more than just sex. They can use you for support, they can use you for companionship, for exclusivity, and even for your love. So it's important to know the signs to spot a user, because unlike a player who usually gets found out in the first few weeks or couple of months, a user can use you for years. So here are the top 7 signs that you're being used by a guy. Number 1, he only sees you on his terms and his terms alone. It's his way or the highway. So you want to see him more, you want to spend more time with him and get to know him, but you have to accept all he's willing to give you. This is a clear sign of a user. I had a discovery call, a woman come to me, and she said, "Mark, this man will only see me and my child on a Saturday, and it's only for a couple of hours. I want my child to be able to see his dad. I want to form a connection with this man, but this is all the time he'll give me." And I said to this woman, "You're being used." They didn't have sex. It had nothing to do with sex. She was being used for her companionship and the fact that he wanted another woman on the go. If a guy is only seeing you on his terms, and it's very specific little terms, and you want more, but he's unwilling to give it to you, then it's a clear as day sign that you're being used. Number 2, he regularly or only drunk texts you. So if the only time you're hearing from him is when he's intoxicated, it's a pretty clear sign as to what his true intentions are. He's using you. Number 3, he doesn't future project at all. Maybe you try to make plans with him and he avoids the topic or always says he's busy. If he's not future projecting, if he's not wanting to plan ahead at all, it's a clear sign he's using you. Men, when they like you, they're just like you. We want to be on each other's mind. We want us to be planning the future, and we want to make sure that person doesn't think we're not interested. So when a guy is truly into you, he's going to future project. This is a key difference from players who will future project to some extent because they'll tell you what you want to hear. A guy who's using you, on the other hand, will rarely future project. Number 4, sex is one directional. So this one obviously applies to guys who are specifically using you for sex. But if the sex is all selfish, if it's just about him getting off, and if it's not about him embracing your pleasure as well, then it's a pretty clear sign that guy doesn't care about you enough to consider you, i.e., a sign he's using you. Number 5, he won't add you to any of his social medias. So this is a bit of a key difference between the player and the user, is that the player will usually be happy to have you on his social medias. In fact, in many cases, he'll want to show off his social medias to you. He's more about sex, whereas the user is often not about sex at all. He wants the companionship, he wants the more long-lived type relationship, so he wants to have the benefits that he's using you for longer. Thus, he's less likely to want to intertwine you in his life and in his social media. If a guy is avoiding having you connected to his social media, if he's consistently got excuses as to why you can't be Facebook friends or why you can't see his Instagram, it's a pretty clear sign he's using you. So number 6, he doesn't like running into you as a surprise. So he's happy to use you on his terms when it suits him, but when it comes to running into him unexpectedly, surprise outings, or just bumping into each other, he's not so thrilled about that. In fact, the user in many cases will be very angry about that or appear flustered or annoyed by it. He only wants to see you on his terms as per number 1, and thus he's not going to like running into you as a surprise. And number 7, this is one that the user does have in common with the player, is he doesn't want to talk about other women or put any focus on other women, but he's funny about you with other men. Remember, a lot of the time, the user wants your companionship, wants your support. He wants that feminine presence in his life. So he doesn't want that potentially wandering and attaching itself to another man. He doesn't want you emotionally investing in another man because you're currently emotionally investing in him. But the same rules that apply to you do not apply to the user. He'll often see other women. He may even tell you he is, or he may simply avoid the topic. But the guy who's using you is likely to not want you to be around other guys or be funny about you being around other guys when those same rules do not apply to him. Well, that's the video. Thank you for watching. As I said, I'm going to do a part 2 to this video with 7 more signs of a user. So make sure you check that out. I'll pop the link in the description and at the top of the video once it's ready. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts, comments, questions, etc. Put them all down below. Hit that big red subscribe button and the little bell so you get the notifications, and of course the like button on the video too. Don't forget to download your free gift, the 10 male dating personalities that lead to heartbreak, so you can spot these guys before you fall in love with them. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video very soon.